Hello, you're welcome. This is Moment for Thought. I am Aliyu Papaparo. The program is going to have a discussion on National Development Drive, that is Nigeria's development drive, with a focus on the historical perspective of the country and good child upbringing for good citizenship. Yes, historically, any nation must know its past for it to appreciate the present and for the good projection of the future. And I have with me in the studio distinguished Nigerians who will have a discussion on this and perhaps lay the cards on the table. They say, show the light and people will find the way. I have with me Otumba Shegun Runshewe, the Director General of the National Council for Arts and Culture and former Director General of the Nigeria Tourism Development Corporation. He is President, World Crafts Council, and officer of the Order of the Nigeria. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. We always say this your baby face is still going on.
All praises to Almighty God.
Yes, okay, good. Yeah. But we need the recipe anyway.
Yes. Very soon.
We have another young man again, Dr. Mainasara Umar, Ibrahim Kogo Umar. He is a barrister at law, a teacher, a commentator on public affairs, a historian and economist. And of course, politically too, he is fighting for good governance and the people's welfare and greater future for his country. You're welcome to the program, Dr. Mainasara.
Nigeria will healthy.
Yes, thank you. Yes, let me start with Otumba Shegun Runshewe. Talking about the perspective of Nigeria within the horizon, if you hover over the horizon and take a look at Nigeria, people talk about the issue of value system, that we now experience a derailing value system. Incidentally, your council is at the center of the whole national development towards that direction, for people to appreciate their culture, their good citizenship, and of course their values, reorientation. And how do you see today and the way people came up from the beginning? We take you as an example, at the time you were growing up, and what happens today. If you were to be a DJ at that time, I think your work would have been simpler than what is happening today. Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Baba Barrow. Let me honestly commend Moment of Thought.
Yes.
Commend NTA. This is the right time to discuss Nigerian history. Unfortunately, part of our biggest problem today is not understanding where we are coming from.
Yes.
How do we get to where we are? And how do we get to the next level? So the history of our country is extremely very, very important at this moment of our time as a people. History, I can tell you, is a discipline of concerns, which concerns itself with the study, analysis of people's past.
Yes.
And in most cases, people don't even know our past. It's difficult for them to appreciate how we get to where we are,
Yes.
and how we can improve. So I want to commend NTA. This is one of the most important topic
Thank you.
to be discussed because we lost some aspect of our history. When it comes to history, we left so many things undone. How did I say that? We have political history, we have social history, we have economic history, we have diplomatic history. All of these components, we have left it thinking that history is only talking about the minor things that happen. Every component of history is quite important for the development of any nation. So to me, I would like to appeal further
Yes.
that maybe NTA will need to do a little more by enlightening our people that our history is our treasure. Our history is what will help us to build a better tomorrow.
You could see it on our programs and jingles and what
Yes, yes,
and the news.
Exactly.
Yes.
If I tell you this today, you'll be surprised to hear this. I grew up as a young man in Kaduna State with all my friends. Nobody bothers of your religion. Nobody bothers of which state you are coming from, which community, which local government. Our basic interest is to build a better Nigeria. So that is why I'm supporting this topic.
Yes.
It's the most, I think I will even call it our new currency. Yes, we need to come to terms with our history.
Yes.
Talking about how we get to where we are.
Yes.
Where are we going to? Because a people without history don't have a future.
Yes.
And we have a future. So our history is germane. On this issue of history, quickly, if you listen to our national anthem, it said, so that the labor of our heroes past
There's no
shall
going
not be in vain. That is the component of history, which is causing problem today. When we were growing up, you ask, what do you want to become? I want to become a lawyer, a doctor, a professor. I mean, name it. But today, ask our youth, what do you want to become? He will tell you want to become a billionaire, you want to become a Dangote, an Otedola, the Glowman. They have forgotten that these people too have history. In fact, if you get to know some of their history, you won't pray to be rich.
Yes.
So please, I am totally in support of reawakening the consciousness of our people.
Yes.
That our history is our pride.
Yes. Dr. Mainasara, let's start from one phrase he picked from the national anthem. The labor of our heroes past shall not go in vain. From the First Republic, let you start from there. Not to go back. I know you're a man of history and constitutional development of the country. The perspective, the projection of founders of today's Nigeria, how was it? How does it contrast with what we have today, historically?
Well, Nigeria is moving with the head currently.
Not with legs?
Rather than with the leg. Paradoxically, we are a historic country. But the developments from 1960 to date has turned us in reverse order. Even though you said I shouldn't go beyond pre-independence.
You can chip in.
Well, from 1884, November 21st to be precise, down to 1960, October 1st, is a cumulated period of historical progression that shows compromise in the principle of patriotism for entrenchment of nationalism over and above parochialism. From that time up to the time we gained independence, we are a country that showcase ourselves to the world as a country rich in history, rich in customs, rich in costumes, rich in culture, and rich in character. These are the things, the values that wherever we went that time, all over the world, people are eager to see us. You remember the old Benin Kingdom? As far back as 1863, the kingdom was having diplomatic missions across the globe because of the excellence in arts, crafts, the exportation of the culture we normally do. And our foremost nationalists that were struggling for independence, the 7 different political conferences in London, they all went with our native costumes. Each one of them will go with the portrayal of his tradition, his customs. You will never see any of them in suit and tie. Unlike the contemporary elites that are ashamed to be seen in my own type of dress currently. And then it became mandatory from 1960 upwards that the primary elementary subjects you will be taught in at the primary school level were history and social studies.
Yes.
So that we appreciate the diversity and the complexities that made us tick. And that is the reason why, based on what you said, the labor of our heroes past, we tried in many ways to immortalize our past heroes. Their pictures on our currencies, naming some national monuments after them, street names, and what have you. In those days, when you are somebody that labors so hard, you will be appreciated by the nation by conferring on you a national honor, which we are trying to even forget about such type of rewards. So a country that wants to entrench penalty should think of recognition and accordance of rewards to those people that are in tandem with the tenets of good statesmanship. Currently, as we are talking, the nation has abolished history. The nation has abolished social studies. You can never know where you are standing if you do not know from where you have come from.
We heard that it's been returned in the curriculum.
It's been returned paradoxically. In the practical context, go to any school and see whether there is history as a subject, whether there is social studies as a subject. What we want in Nigeria is action rather than pronouncements. You may pronounce that return of it, but in the practical sense, we want to see the practical implementation of policy statements.
Yes.
By the time we allow our history to go away, by the time we derogate our customs and tradition, then we are giving birth to the future generation who do not know any relevance in your customs and costumes, in your traditions and traditionalities, and in your totality way of life.
Yes.
And there will not be appreciation of the values of the congenial harmony that exists among the diverse components of the Federal Republic of
Nigeria. Yes. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Kogo Umar, from that perspective. Let me pick it from where you talk about our diversity.
Yes.
Nigeria is a land of many countries, a land of many bounties, and common historical perspective. Actually, the diversity that makes us unique is a strength that makes us unite in an amalgam of one nation, one destiny. If one watches one of your outings, various states of the Federation, that is the NAFEST festivals, you could see the diversity of Nigeria, the congenial relationship as the doctor is talking about, and showcasing what Nigeria is made of. It's not only cultural perspective, traditions and whatever, even the economic potentialities of this great country. How do we really harness those resources today so that the younger generation will appreciate what they have? Not just as some people used to say, Yahoo, Yahoo, and what have you. They should appreciate that. What makes the Asian tigers great is relating their national cultures and orientation to modern scientific development. How does Nigeria stand in that perspective?
Well, thank you very much. I will be unfair and posterity will not forgive me.
Yes.
If I do not make this very clear. From the content of where you've taken it, do you know that Nigeria is the only country in the whole of West Africa
Yes.
that don't have a cultural market? And you see...
Cultural market.
Market, yes.
You have one here in Abuja, the Sheraton.
Yes,
Sheraton
but people did not know the story, the history behind it. Today you are talking of history, that's why I'm coming up with it.
Yes.
You see, if you go to Ghana, go to Kenya, go to Kuala, all of them in West Africa, everybody has a cultural market. In the good wisdom of government, the land opposite Sheraton is our cultural market. But it has been taken over by hoodlums. Until I got to office, I find out, why is this happening? They said for 29 years, when we went into that place, we met 26 stolen cars, AK-47 guns.
Incredible.
Yes. Cocaine, wee, and so many drugs.
It's documented by the security.
Yes. I am speaking on national television. I have all the documents I'm telling
Incredible.
you. 2 armed robbers were living in there, which of course, I must commend Nigerian police who trailed them. Now, if we talk of history, we don't talk of... You see, Baba, please permit me today. One of our biggest problems, we don't celebrate our best. If you don't celebrate Prof today for doing a great thing, how will a younger Nigerian hope to be like Prof? I'm telling you, this is a disconnection we must have to address immediately. Do you know that they claimed that I'm going to be arrested, I'm going to be whatever, locked up. I was going to make history to be the first Nigerian to be locked up for fighting for government property. That would have been a good history. So where am I going to? 5 distinguished Nigerians, which we must celebrate them, we must mention them everywhere for all Nigerians to know, stood firm and said, no, this is government property. When you talk about history, these are the kind of history we need to tell Nigerians. Who is that person? Those people? The Minister of FCT, Madam Bello, as of today, came up and said, no way, nobody can take over government property for an individual. We can flash back to decree 1976 decree 2 and part of land use decree.
Yes.
That you can take over individual land for government, not take over government land for an individual.
It's a national interest.
Thank you. The IG of police, the current Minister of Information and Culture,
Lai Mohammed,
and of course, the National Assembly, under the leadership of Obede Omorege, the man representing Edo State, came personally.
As the committee lead.
Yes, the committee, chairman of the committee. He came there to visit. You see, we look at these little things. Since the National Assembly came to visit that place, the story has changed.
It's a little things matter.
Yeah, things have changed. As of today, as I'm talking to you, this issue is before EFCC. Yes, we must start to tell our people that government interest is bigger than any individual.
So we must keep the history.
We must keep the history.
Yes.
So if this kind of thing happened in Nigeria and nobody says anything, we have all lost it. And
so we wouldn't have cultural market again.
No, it's back. I'm opening it very soon.
Okay.
Very, very soon. Nigerians will be proud of Otumba Segun Oronsewe and what I want to showcase. The other countries, what they have is a child's play to what we have here. All we need to do is that goodwill and coming together to do the right thing. On this note, Malam Barrow, 2 Nigerians play football in Europe, Iheanacho and Ndidi, and they use Nigerian flag to rub their body. We are celebrating them now. Why should Nigerian youth be looking forward to be celebrated if we don't celebrate these ones now? So for me, when we talk about history, this is the content of diplomatic and sports history
Yes.
of our great country, which we must not disconnect from. For me, I want to appeal once again. Madam Barrow, there's this popular saying that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. No, it's not correct. My people perish because of lack of culture. If I respect his culture, he respect mine, and I respect yours, there will be less tension in Nigeria.
Yes.
We will live better. The Igbo man says, bring cola, put on the table before we talk. The Hausa man says, remove your shoe before you enter my sitting room, because I'm saying my prayers there. The Yoruba man want to wash his hand and eat amala, hot one, and you said it's local. Excuse me, if you respect my culture, I respect yours, you respect mine,
Yes.
there will be peace in Nigeria,
Yes.
and we all live in harmony.
Exactly.
Oh, that is it. So I think taking it from there,
Yes.
we are short of time. Maybe you share these 2 minutes
Yes.
between the two of you, because I know this is a very, very important discussion
Yes.
that will go for the second card for the following week,
Yes.
so to speak. How do you see raising the consciousness of Nigerians, the psyche
Yes.
of the youth, historically, and within the current perspective of globalization? Nigeria is at crossroads. There is globalization, there's internal insecurity and so many things, economic downturn and what have you. How do you raise the consciousness of the youth?
Well, first of all, the government should take the lead. In tandem with Section 18 of the Constitution, the educational objectives, it should be embedded in our curriculum. In tandem with Section 21 of the Constitution, it is mandatory on the government to evolve policies and programs and historical documentations that will preserve, protect, and promote our historical and cultural heritages.
Yes.
And then we should try as much as possible to apply the provisions of Sections 23, the national ethics. Our national ethics should be national ethics that we should be proud of our originality. And then when we recognize that one, every citizen recognize that one, then we should apply Section 24 of the Constitution that says it is a mandatory duty on all the citizens, all the government, everybody. It is mandatory on you to see to the projection and entrenchment of Nigeria's cultural, political, and historical superiority over and above that of any other country in the world, because Nigeria is our only country. We are destined to be born here, and we are destined to die in it.
Yes. Yes, please.
Well, mine is a passionate appeal. God has destined Nigeria to be great. All those calling to divide Nigeria, I'm appealing to them.
Yes.
That is not the best for us. We must appreciate each other. There is no country in the world that is a champion today that has not gone through challenges.
Yes.
The challenges make a greater champion. Nigeria, what we are going through today are challenges that we are going to say is part of history. Tomorrow will be greater and be better. I appeal to every Nigerian, irrespective of religion, tribe, belief, understanding, please let us come together. The attitude of saying, I want to leave because I'm not happy. The reason why you have doctors around is that when you are sick, you get treatment.
Yes.
If we have a little sickness today, we should tolerate each other and take the right medication for a greater nation and for a better understanding.
Yes.
I was born and brought up in Kaduna. I'm not an Hausa man, but I have come to understand that
Yes.
your neighbor is not necessarily being the person from your local government. Your neighbor is the person next to you. We must respect each other neighborhood
Yes.
to make Nigeria a great and a better place for all of us.
Thank you very much. After all, the scriptures too have propagated for good neighborliness.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much, Otumba Shegun Rinshawe and Dr. Menesara Kogo Omar. I hope you will oblige us when we call you for the continuation of this discussion, because there's the issue of the upbringing of the child. And incidentally, just recently we've celebrated the National Children's Day.
Yes.
And
yes.
International Children's Day. And we will discuss that, bringing up the child, the role of the minutest unit of the society,
Yes.
home, school, community and the nations generally. Thank you very much. But I will challenge you when we come back on the issue of the fourth estate, the NTA that you love so much. I will tell you about all those things that NTA does. Yes. Thank you very much. That has been Moment for Thought. We'll be back again next week on continuation of the discussion. We hope the gentleman, the honorable gentleman, will honor our invitation for that discussion. Thank you very much. Goodbye.